What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of A Wolf in Geek's Clothing, hosted by yours truly, Wolfson, and with me, my special guest once again, Mike Phoenix Hero. Let's go! All right, back again for episode 2 of the podcast. The only difference is that we're both in different spots. You know, it's kind of weird, but it's okay. We're still trying to adjust. We're doing little trial errors to see what is comfortable for all of us. You know, but right now, if you guys can see it, you guys can see him on here on the little square, and then you can see a game over here. Just have it for aesthetic purposes. That's pretty much it. Nothing more, nothing less. Anyways, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to get started.
Absolutely. So today we got like 4 big topics to talk about. So today we definitely got to talk about the recent acquisition from Microsoft owning Activision Blizzard. It has been an quote-unquote official done deal, and we're going to review about that whole monopoly because we believe it's a monopoly. I don't know what Mike has to say about it, but we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the recent update of the writer strikes with CEOs literally showing their whole cards. Very scummy from on their part. We're definitely going to talk about the Dragon Ball trailer known as DragonBall Daima. And then our little sneak peek from yesterday's on Age of Overlord on the TCG section. So do you want to get started with the TCG so we could get that out of the way?
Get that out of the way. I pulled crazy yesterday. That was yeah, he can tell you, but we were fiending to try to get that SP Little Knight.
Bro, you have the oh my god. Like, and I calculated like in yesterday's sneak peek, the new TCG Yu-Gi-Oh! Age of Overlord just about to hit stores this week. We went to our favorite card shop, Matt Card. Shout out to Travis and Chris for letting us be there, and we had lots of fun. I mean, Mike itself started recording for Travis for video content and whatnot. So guys, be sure to check that out for more videos and at his YouTube channel, of course. But we got ourselves a couple of boxes. Well, I did. Mike only spent no more than what, $23?
And I bought that one box or part of the box for $70.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for basically reference on a sneak peek, usually we goes on the kits and boxes, and it goes at a very, very high price of it because on release it'll be less. But I spent at least for a grand total of, and I did the math yesterday, $120 for 3.5 boxes, basically. Mm-hmm. It's because I give away like a lot of trades. So the trades help me to get store credit and all that stuff. So I finally got it. I guess like I don't know if I did win per se, because like the only thing that I received out of all the fins was like the copies of the Diabelisar copy, the Spell Searcher,
the Wanted.
Yeah, the Wanted.
Yeah, the Wanted. Okay.
Yeah, it's a play set and it's very expensive, but at the same time, it's like I didn't want it. I was hoping for the SB Knight, and we were counting down. Like, all right, let's see for one case how many SB Knights they could be, and we've counted down and we narrowed down from one case. There was at least 3 SB Knights in one case. In the second case, there was at least 2 SP Knights. Bro, my pulls, I guess you can say my pulls were like good, not great because I didn't pull the cards that I wanted. But at the same time, it wasn't bad because at least I pulled some decent cards that I can either trade it off or sell it off to other people. And then I gain value for which cards I want to get out of it.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, you pull OP. And people who don't know what OP is overpower. Like he pulled over 9,000 power level rarity cards. Can you explain us what went down?
What went down? Yeah. So in the beginning, people were buying boxes, and then towards the end of the sneak peek, people are buying bundles. The bundles are 5 packs from a box.
Yeah.
and my friend, shout out to Lulu again. he bought the first bundle, and he pulled, I think, the Snake Eye Secret and one Ultra. And I had a feeling, I was like, okay, like there's at least one other secret in there and the 3 other Ultras. So I went ahead and bought it for $70, because typically a box is like 110, 108, 110.
Yeah.
So I got it for $70 because, again, it's not the whole box. I open it and I'm like, please get an SP Little Knight. And then I'm going through and I open a quarter century rare, the Visa Starfrost brother, the Samus, I think. Yeah.
Some
quarter century rare is if you don't know, it's like a Starlight rare.
It's
but
like
special
one of the
for the 25th.
rares, very, very hard, even though it was pretty easy yesterday, but it's very hard to pull.
Yeah. So I pulled that, and then I was like, okay, like I think it's going for like 125, 120. So it's like, I already made my money back if I sell it. And then I'm like, but I still didn't open my secret, right? Because a quarter century doesn't replace the secret that's guaranteed. I'm opening the packs, and then boom, SP Little Knight. And I was like, yo, this was the best. This was the best opening so far.
But you didn't explain the whole story as to why.
Oh, the one
down.
Okay, so they opened a box previously, and people were buying a bundle, and then Wolf was like, "Let me buy." Was it the 15? The 15 packs, 15 like 3 bundles.
So I spent 60 there ish,
and that was because
I was mapping it out. I was like, all right, if he pull a secret here, that means the secret is around here, and I pulled the cards that I wanted it.
Yeah. And the thing is, so the person that got the first bundle in that box didn't open a secret. So we're like, okay, the 2 secrets are still left in the box. Wolfman bought 15, and I'm fiending, so I'm there opening it with him, trying to see what he, like, helping out Wolf to see what he got. No secrets. And I'm like, bruh, the last 4 packs in that box have to have the secret. So I like turn around and tell Travis, yo, I'm buying these last 4. And somehow one of the Dragon Ball TCG players just wanted to buy the rest of the box just for fun. And I was like, this man just bought the 2 secrets for 20. He opens it, and it's the SP Little Knight. Bruh. And then I'm like, okay, what's the other secret? And then it's like the Visa Starfrost. So he opened it, was like, bruh, oh, are these valuable? And then Travis was like, yeah, I'll give you like a bunch of store credit for it. Gotcha, bitch. And me and Wolf were like, bruh. We were so, because again, you're trying to look for the SP Little Knight. So it's like the box you like cracked from had the SP, but it was both the secrets were at the bottom of the box, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's the part that make me upset is like I had to calculate it, and I knew, and I said, all right, if it's not in here, then it's one of those 4 boosters. It had to be there. One way or another, it had to be there. And if one of us is going to get it, I'd rather you have it than I did. And you did the smart move by going back. We just didn't know that these Dragon Ball players all of a sudden, oh yeah, let me just get it for fun. Oh my God, is this good? I don't know. Man, I'm like, the fuck? Don't jump into our territory. Stay in your own lane.
Emotional, damn it.
I think that's the part that got me upset. The fact that he just jumped over for the fun of it, just to screw us out, knowing that there's a bunch of Yu-Gi-Oh players that they know that we're trying to look for certain rarities, and they just buy it just like, oh yeah, I guess my luck is good. Yeah. Hey, how much you want it? Store credit. Okay, cool. And we're like, we could have get it for less. And as soon as Travis got that card, Matt all the way charged me that card. That was a baller move right there. But you, oh my God, you were so upset. And I feel the pain because you were looking for it more than I was. But hey,
because of the combos I made up, bro, that we got to talk about.
Yo, this guy proves you that Kashtira is not dead. This guy right here. This guy is the reason why I believe Kashtira is still a great deck to play. Even with a Rise art, don't matter. Don't matter. A Rise who? All right. Don't worry. Fairmere, Unicorns, Rise, and other stuff. Like, don't worry. This guy created a combo that I thought that was like high-level IQ brain genius. And I cannot explain it, and I'm pretty sure he can do a better job than I can, but we rather like you guys go to his YouTube channel and watch for the upcoming video of this combo. Because when he showed it to me and he showed it to everybody, including the store owners, they were like, Yu-Gi-Oh's degenerate. Yu-Gi-Oh's degenerate.
Yeah. Yeah. And for people that don't know Travis, don't forget he is the YCS Miami champion.
Yes.
So like he's a top like pro player. You gotta be pro to win a YCS.
Right.
So Travis knows like what he's talking about. And because he was saying like, yo, cashier is dead, blah blah blah. I showed him the combo. He's like, never mind, I'll take it back. Like this is degenerate. And again, it's just Konami. It's so crazy that those two cards, the Gen and Ken, are just commons. Like everyone was pulling them.
I still don't believe that, because we talked about it last episode about this Ken again common cards. It's like, how is this like very like OP all of a sudden? And then when you showed to me what the combo is, I ended up going like, fuck, I need to get a few copies of these.
Yeah.
And it's so splashable. Like it's splashable. I mean, let me rephrase that. It's splashable for decks that requires for them to have a draw power and have a great advantage on their side. Like Cashiera definitely needs that more than anything right now. Unchained, I can see people playing it. I'm gonna try to incorporate it as well. I don't know if I would recommend that like Vanquish Soul, because Vanquish Soul is more of a mid-range deck which requires them to do like combos using certain attributes. And Ken and Gen is not one of those attributes.
Yeah, they're Earth, right? No, they're light.
I don't know any other decks that will put. I'm pretty sure people would just go find degeneracy. Like if anything, Jesse Cotton is just gonna find out some degenerate deck out of nowhere and add Ken and Gen. And it's like, there you go.
Well, he really was testing it with tier laments. And I was like, yeah. But don't forget, like you have to discard. You get to discard one as an effect, so that trigger makes his tier lament live.
Bruh.
Why are we still in tier elements?
But it's got tier elements. Yeah,
it's not enough for Horus, but now we got to deal with the Ken and Gens on the tiers as well.
But again, I seen his video, and again, he was just like procting it to like discard one.
Yeah.
But again, my combo is like, I'm gonna make you also discard one, like, and then shuffle one. Yeah. But no, yesterday, let's talk about how the tournament went. I think for me, game one was against Tier Lament. I activated Shifter and Draw Face. The guy scooped. And then game two, I activated Shifter and Draw Face. The guy just surrendered. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. It killed his deck. And I think it was his first time coming back in like a year.
Oh, so like, but who was it? Who was the player? Was it the Lulu's student?
Yeah. The kid, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's been playing Tier Laments like forever, like since it came out. But I think he stopped because of
the deck that he was most comfortable then.
Yeah. I think he stopped because of Cashier, if I remember correctly. And then game two, us out of at least it was table one. It was
at least it was table one. That I can show.
Yeah.
And yeah, that one you beat me on both games, right?
Yeah.
If anything, Cash is still good, guys. Cash is even I started first two games, or was it game two that I went first?
Game two, you went first.
And I literally had the entire hand to go full combo, and I still went and played through his board, and I still couldn't do it. Cash is still just like ridiculous, even with a Rise Art. I know it sounds pretty crazy. It's like, oh, that's because you don't know how to play Unchained. That may be true, but at the same time, I actually got a lot more experience. I got more knowledge, and I was able to execute combos that I really wanted. He still managed to break through the board. I mean. Again, he pulled the Ken and Gen combo in front of me. The only thing that was missing was the triple tactics on the change of heart.
Change of heart, yeah.
Oh, that's all he was missing. Other than that, he went full Ken and Gen. I didn't see any of my hand traps. I didn't see anything that will break his entire board, and he still got me.
I mean, but you did stuff because like you flipped one of my cashiers face down. So like, oh no, you flipped my harmonizer face down, so I couldn't steal your Unchained anymore. You got one of my cashiers dead. So it's like, it was very back and forth. Like, I know a lot of people like to say like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is whoever wins the dice roll instantly wins. And it's like, it went back and forth a good amount. Yeah. And then that game two, oh my God, like we used all our hand traps against each other. And it was just like, it came down to, I had Fenrir and you had nothing on board. And it was just like, keep hitting you for 24. And then whatever you summon effect, I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to banish it. So that's why I say I'm like, Fenrir can win you games. Because it's like, I guess like a synchro deck, right? It's like you normal summon, you're going to try to get a tuner from your deck or graveyard. I'm like, okay, when you summon it, I'm banishing your tuner face down, right?
Yeah.
And it applies for anything, right? If you're going to XCs, I'm like, well, your rank 4 or whatever is going to go banish. So it's like Fenrir is very powerful in like that type of game state where, like you said, like it's top decking.
Very, again, an unfair card, Fenrir. The Metsi of the TCG, bro.
Yeah, I will literally fight that to that. I'm like, they're gonna keep Maxi banned here, but they're gonna let Fenrir just
was it Juan?
live.
What was this guy's name? The rescue ace?
Yeah, Juan. Yeah,
One was like try to give you an argument. I was like, I don't think it's the same, but you're like, no, this is why.
yeah. I mean, I'll give him that. Yeah, Maxi is powerful and splashable in like every single deck. I can't think of a deck where like you wouldn't splash Fenrir, you know? Because it's like if that's what you open, you summon it, and then you do your engine stuff. Because even if you're locked into your engine stuff, most of it's like for the rest of the turn. I think there's rarely any like if you already special summon a non-blank, you can't summon this card or use this card or whatever. So I think Fenrir can be used in almost every single deck.
You can make the argument, sure, that Messi can be splashed on any deck. I don't know if I'm pretty sure there's like certain decks that they prefer not to have Matsi because it's because it might hurt them on the long run. And what if you get decked out because you're running Matsi against an anti-meta deck or something like that? You know, a deck that allows you to like, all right, just keep drawing out. All right, that's fine. I'm gonna keep splashing. You don't have nothing. You don't have nib. I'm just gonna keep doing it. You know. Whereas like Fenrir is more of a safeguard as to like, you know, if you don't open nothing and you just got the one Fenrir, hey, at least you can defend yourself with the one Fenrir. You know.
Yeah.
Matsi's draw power is good. Can't deny. But Fenrir is the safest guard for you to have something on the board. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure we don't die on first turn. Like if by some miracle you open all hand traps and one Fenrir, right? You just slap the Fenrir, add the Fenrir to your hand, and that could actually potentially help you reshuffle your deck, and maybe on the next turn, if you survive, you can draw your starter combo engine and then just go burr afterwards. And in any event they try to remove your Fenrir, you already have another Fenrir in your hand.
Another one, yeah.
And
you know, I mean, you're thinning your deck, even though you thinned it by one. Like
exactly,
it's still a thin, right? Like you don't want to like, you know, go into turn 3 and then draw top deck Fenrir, right? So it's like Fenrir search Fenrir, I think is pretty good. Pretty broken, actually.
Yeah, it really broken. The fact that Fenrir allows you to do that just to search its own self, it's already broken as it is, you know. And again, we talked about it on the ban list. I thought Fenrir was gonna be at 1 or ban because Fenrir is literally a card that you can splash it on any deck no matter what, and it still can do its own thing. It still can perform, and it doesn't like conflict with other deck engines. It's just a splashable Pancratots, basically. And it's and that's the thing. It's not a once per turn the inherit summon. Like if they remove your Fenrir on the board, okay, cool. You have a second Fenrir, just special summon it again.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy, but
a lot of people like, you know, there's some cards that's like return to hand. I'm like, you're returning a name to my hand that does nothing. Like you should have waited for Shangri-La to come out.
Yo, yeah, as a Vanquish Soul player, I will tell you, like, I will wait for you to do a full commitment to any of your Cs, and so that way I can force you to return it back to your hand.
Yeah.
I will never return any of your cashiers back to your hand. No way. But yeah, yesterday you proved yourself that cashier is still pretty much alive. Like you went undefeated yesterday.
Yeah.
Round 3, who you went against?
Matt.
Oh, his deck was broken. The branded Chimera. That was actually pretty good. I don't know how I managed to win the first game against him on the branded Chimera, but the last 2 games I just couldn't. Like he got me. He got the better cards. He got the outs. But what was your experience with you on the branded Chimera as a Cashiera player?
I won the first game just by like banishing his fusion targets because I did like I had Birth. You know how Birth can target 3 in the graveyard? I'm like, oh, it's because when it's my turn, he can't grab his Chimera Fusion back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, I'm banishing your Chimera Fusion. I'm banishing your names that you can recycle. and then also like the illusion cards that like they banish themselves to do a negate.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm like, yeah, I'm banishing your Chimera Fusion and your negate. It says it's face down, like you can't get them back. So I think it's just like that one was more, I guess, against Chimera. It's like knowing what to banish, like what's going to impact you the most.
Right.
And I think again, Big Eye is pretty good against it because I'm just going to steal your stuff
and then win afterwards.
Yeah, but yeah, no, yesterday was very fun. I think it was a good sneak peek. Like we mentioned, it was very fun.
You got some content that you recorded, right?
Yeah, but that's more for like Travis's channel. I don't think I'm gonna have. I'm not gonna post anything about the sneak peek on my channel, but I will post like all my combos.
Right.
For Gen and Ken.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to that video. You know, obviously you got to get yourself credit for that, man. That's, you know, shout out to you. And I'm looking forward for that Ken and Ken video. You know, yesterday's locals was pretty good. We got some good trades. We got some great pulls. I wish I could have the SB. I feel like I had enough chances, but I couldn't. That's fine. Somehow I'll get it. And but at least I know for sure I got the Horus engine. That's what the most I was sought out to it. Like I wanted the Horus engine so that way when it comes to Centurion next month in November on Valiant Smashers, I know what to get, and that's it. I don't have to buy boxes. I just go for the singles and get it done. That's it. I can start playing Centurion next month.
Yeah.
All right, man. Do you have any final remarks before we change it to the next topic?
About Yu-Gi-Oh? No. I think we covered everything for this week. Definitely next week when we do locals again, we'll talk about our locals experience.
Yeah, guys, like Age of Overlord coming out this week. It was pretty cool, the sneak peek. We'll see how it goes. Moving on to the next topic, we definitely need to talk about the new Dragon Ball trailer, which is now called Dragon Ball Daima.
Bro.
Jesus. So we saw the trailer. We all saw it. If anybody hasn't seen it, go check it out on YouTube. Yeah, pretty interesting. This like trailer that we saw, because doesn't tell us much other than, you know, everybody's a kid now. Like I don't understand for what's going on. But before I let off my thoughts, what are your thoughts?
I feel like they're milking the series, bro. Like I saw this comment that made me crack up so much, but it was like, this is like the Teen Titans Go of anime.
Oh.
I couldn't stop laughing when I read that. I don't know, like they did this with GT, right? Like Dragon Ball GT, they make Goku a kid again.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't like it.
No, that GT, I don't think that people really care. Maybe people did not really like Goku as a kid because that was a stupid thing to do. But I think people really were upset. It was the storyline itself.
I guess that's true. But again, like the first like arc was him traveling just like he did in Dragon Ball. But I guess was weird because I guess Trunks was there.
Yeah.
Like I guess like Teen Trunks. Yeah. And Pan. So yeah. But when I saw a trailer, I was like, I don't know why they're doing this. Like I don't see a reason, because even the trailer, they're like, oh, we're bringing back the power pole, and it's like, I mean, that's cool, but it sounds like you're picking on nostalgic now, right? Because it's like they're showing like, yeah, we got the power pole back, and it's like, I mean, I remember the power pole from Dragon Ball, so it's just weird they brought it back, and they're like trying to like target the audience to be like, hey, we're bringing old stuff back too. Yeah,
like I agree with you on that. They're milking it. The other reason I thought from yesterday that I speculated myself was that they're just trying to put out content until they can get to put out Dragon Ball Super, the manga, because the manga is still going on. So we're missing like the Moro arc and the Gas arc, or the Granola arc, however you want to call it. You know, we're still missing those two arcs to put in the actual series. You know, that's where spoiler alert, we see Ultra Ego Vegeta. You know, you got Goku as doing Ultra Instinct. Vegeta goes Ultra Ego, and then Frieza goes on his Black Frieza mode. Like it's a bunch of other stuff, and I'm hearing a lot of people saying that the manga is actually pretty good, and you know the fights have been scaled all the way to like the risks are way too high, and it's getting out of control. So it's like, okay, so this is good. So when I heard that they announced Dragon Ball Daima, my first reaction was like, "Oh yeah, it was gonna be like that." But then when I look into the trailer, oh no, this is horrible. This is horrible. Like, why do they keep continue of going back, reminiscent of being everybody as children? Like, why is it everybody has to be a kid? Like, don't get me wrong. Visually, it looks beautiful.
Yes.
The visuals are beautiful. It definitely looks amazing. But do I really wanted this? Do all of us really want to see this crap? Like, do we really care? Like, did anybody ask, hey, you know what, be cool if we see everybody only on small versions of them? Be it kids, like, it's kind of like Dragon Ball GT, but everybody now. I mean, I think everybody was there hoping and hyping and coping is to get those two arcs, the Moro and Granola arc. Those are the only thing that people are asking. But again, my conspiracy theory head tells me like the reason why they haven't given us is because they probably haven't finished the manga. And they want to finish the manga, without being rushed. So that way they can put it out in the studios. And by the time that happens, we won't see that until like 2025 or 2026. However long this Dragon Ball Daima is going to last, And I felt like maybe they could have just stick to the Dragon Ball, the superheroes. That little side show, like that one that is actually pretty fun. Because it's not canon, but they're putting things that they use over the years. So it's like, all right, maybe it could have milked that one. But no, they actually went a little bit too far with this Daima. My expectations are pretty low. I mean, visually looks amazing. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. I honestly don't know because it doesn't appeal to me for me to watch it or I don't really care. And I heard speculations or rumors from other people that are saying that it's not really a canon series. It's like an alternative universe.
Just like GT.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, if it's not canon and it's in an alternative universe, do we really care? Like, why would I care or spend my time on watching the show? And does anybody want to? Maybe the most loyal Dragon Ball fans will probably like watch it and they'll complain about it on the internet. But I can still complain about it even without watching it.
Without watching it, yeah.
Like they will have to like do some crazy shit, like a crazy transformation or something for them to convince me to watch the series. Other than that, I don't think it's worth it. And it's a waste of time and money for everyone else.
No, I agree. I know like they're trying to fill up the void of like we have like I think the last Super episode was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So like there's a void. Like you said, 2025 might be when the next Super comes out. So it's like there's 2 more years. There's a giant void of Dragon Ball content. But it's like I'm also okay with not having Dragon Ball content. Like I think like Z wrapped it up well. I understand it's like, they're trying to make their money and stuff, but it's like I don't need Dragon Ball content like every year out, I don't need like new arc or new show like every single year. And I think like the thing about after GT, there is no Dragon Ball content, and it still gained popularity. It's just it was a good show, good manga. Because I don't think they need the new stuff to like sell, Dragon Ball.
Right.
But yeah, I think this was like a just weird direction. And again, they had Toriyama be a huge part of it. So I was wondering, it's like why he chose this.
Knowing how much the studios have fucked up his franchise with GT and the Dragon Ball Evolution movie, live action movie, which was like a hot piece of garbage.
Yeah.
I feel like when he did Battle of the Gods, that was good. All right, good. Leave it there. When he did Resurrection of Frieza, oh shit, even better. Okay, we can leave it there. And then he milked it with the Super. And I was like, all right, do we really, really wanted all this? Do we really care about all this? And to finalize the whole thing, I felt like, okay, end it with Broly. Make Broly canon now. And the way how they ended it by having Gogeta canon as well. Okay, say no more. Thank you. Thank you for giving us. But yeah, every year you see like a new Dragon Ball movie. And now we got Ultra Beast Gohan and Ultra or Super Beast Piccolo. As like, I mean, I can't.
Orange Piccolo,
are we asking for all this? Like, we love Dragon Ball and we love that it ended. It's like, all right, cool. We're good. Gucci, we're done. Why are we still doing this?
Yeah.
But I guess it's when money talks, bullshit what's, right?
I mean, Toriyama's getting that bag.
I don't know how much more of a bag he needs because, like, damn, like you already make your money from the Dragon Ball Seed series alone. How much more do you want?
Yeah.
And knowing that over there the people that work in mangas and whatnot, the artists, their jobs are very stressful, man. When it comes to writing a content, it's basically they work like over 40 hours a week. Like I've heard stories that they work even 70 hours a week. So it's like, is it worth the stress that you're trying to do?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how old Toriyama is, but it's like, don't you want to be chilling at home or traveling or something? Just, I mean, if he loves drawing that much, I'm not gonna blame him either. But
no, like, I mean, if he loves what he's doing and he doesn't care or doing it, that's fine. But geez, bro, like, there's so much that you can give us, you know? Like, if anything, the power of tournament, if anything tells me is that the whole freaking tournament of all those fighters from all those different universes, it all tells me that it's like Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Like, it don't matter how weak you are. If you have a chance, you have a chance.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's like, what kind of bullshit? I thought we were power scaling all the way to the top that no mortal can beat a god. And you're seeing that a mortal can beat a god.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, okay. So all that power scaling that you've been showing us over the years, saying like, oh yeah, every time you keep transforming to a Super Saiyan, you get stronger and stronger and then you can't beat us. Now that's bullcrap, because you're telling me a Kefla with the legendary Super Saiyan power can match an Ultra Instinct power?
Yeah, what's stopping them from going Ultra Instinct in the future, you know? So it's like legendary Ultra Instinct.
That's what I'm saying. And then you're telling me that Broly, one of the most OP characters, he keeps getting stronger and stronger on his base form and he can match on a Super Saiyan level? Like, he on his base form. So you're telling me when he becomes Super Saiyan, he can outbeat a Super Saiyan Blue, which is considered a superpower of a god?
Mm-hmm.
What?
NANI?
Yeah.
Like, you have to fuse for you to and become a Super Saiyan god for you to actually beat Broly. Like, the power scaling itself does not make sense. And I'm having these issues. Is like, how long are we gonna milk this shit out? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're telling me a Krillin has a fighting chance? A Krillin level, fuck, even a Yamcha level has a fighting chance to fight somebody who has been destroying planets before? That's my rant.
Yeah.
That's my rant. So,
I agree. I think, I mean, I said it like, I don't know who asked for this. I don't think anyone is like that hyped for it. I think what you said was true though. Like, the animation is amazing, but I'm in the mindset where it's like, I don't think animation can like carry anime anymore. At least for me. Like, I think I'm more like plot driven now. I think like younger wise, it's like seeing that animation would have been crazy.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
And maybe that's what they're trying to do, but maybe they're trying to capture the young audience to see like, yo, look how cool is this shit and whatnot. But if you know, like every Dragon Ball fan is like our age.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know how much more you're trying to convince me that Super Saiyan can go even surpass its own limits. How many times have we hearing that crap?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm with you. I don't think anybody asked for this. They're just milking it at this point. And that's what worries me. It's gonna be eventually. It's gonna hit a fatigue. It's gonna be a fatigue of Dragon Ball in which you're like, ugh, more Dragon Ball. Like, how much more? Like, what? Super Saiyan's not enough. There's a god level of Super Saiyan. I'm done. See, like, and I'm hearing that for a lot of fans. You know, like, they don't know how much more they can take by watching this series. You know, but you know, let us know in the comments down below your thoughts on Dragon Ball Daima. Visually, it looks amazing. There's nothing to it. Like, it looks amazing. Storylines, I have my hopes very, very low. Very low. I'm not expecting much. Am I gonna watch it? Probably not. But you let us know in the comments down below what you guys think about Dragon Ball Daima. Moving on to the next topic. Oh boy, the monopoly level of Microsoft owning Activision Blizzard. Thoughts?
I mean, I think it's a good acquisition. I think they got it approved because they proved to the FCC that it wouldn't be a monopoly and that they are like the third biggest holder in the market. They like admitted to the FCC like, yo, like Sony's on top, then Nintendo, then us. So, and I think even in the court case, they're trying to be blocked by saying like Nintendo's not even part of the market share. It's like, well, they sell more consoles, they sell games. You know, their brand is bigger in Japan, and they don't have and Xbox doesn't really have a market in Japan, right? Like Nintendo's worldwide, and I think Xbox kind of sticks to like just like Western audiences, right? Like America and Europe. So I think like that's why they got approved, because they approved like, hey, if we get this, we're not going to be number one. Like we might be like at Nintendo level now. Like we might be market share for 2. So they basically admitted it's like Sony's a bigger monopoly right now, or they just do better that to the point where like even if we get Activision, they're still going to be on top. I just wanted DJ Hero 3. Please, Microsoft. They bought Activision. They can do it now.
You serious?
You didn't give a shit. You just want your DJ Hero. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've already started hearing rumors and speculations that they are planning on coming back with Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero, yeah. Oh, so, I know Guitar Hero. I have Guitar Hero in my living room set up.
Well, I mean, imagine having Guitar Hero with all of the new songs and all the songs that they had licensed before is like coming back to life. So like there is a chance if they bring Guitar Hero back to the new franchise, then, you know, DJ Hero could be a thing as well. Now, my thoughts to this is me not coming as of like hating Microsoft, because I don't hate Microsoft. Like, thanks to Microsoft, we have some of the coolest computer parts, and everybody and their mother uses a freaking Windows. Like, so I'm not hating Microsoft for that aspect. I'm not hating Microsoft that they created Xbox and they gave us the option. Like, if you can't afford a Xbox, you could just play your Xbox game on a laptop, on a gaming laptop at least. The reason my dislike or disapproval of this acquisition is that Xbox has a bad tracking record when it comes on acquiring gaming companies. Now we can talk about the monopoly. In my head, it's a monopoly what they're trying to do, because now what they started is that now other console companies like Sony and Nintendo will start trying to do that move on owning the gaming companies and have the exclusivity as to like, this is, if you want to play this game, this you will have to buy this certain console. I don't know. Nintendo, I wouldn't put Nintendo in that bracket because Nintendo is unique. They have their own unique games. Like they sell by Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon. And Pokemon cannot be bought by Nintendo. Even though Pokemon's only exclusively to Nintendo, like all their games is for them, Pokemon got way too big than Nintendo, that I don't think Nintendo will make that move. And if anything, Nintendo will just like continue on with what they got currently. But Zelda and the Marios, that's all Nintendo. So that's why I don't worry much about Nintendo. Also, you have to understand something about Nintendo. They use Sony and Microsoft products. Like their Switch is based on Sony products, like parts itself, you know? So like Nintendo benefits them for their companies and whatnot. Now with Sony, I feel they're gonna try to do their thing. I mean, they already had their PlayStation Studio, so they're definitely gonna try to do acquiring some certain companies and buy. It's gonna be a shit show later on in this upcoming future when it comes to owning stuff. But like I said, I'm going back again. The reason why I don't like this acquisition is because Xbox has a bad tracking record owning companies. And we've seen it time from time. Whenever they own a company, we get our expectations high. All right, this is going to be the good game. And then when the game comes, it's not as what we were projecting. And then Microsoft, what it does is like, oh, we'll blame it on them. They blame the blame game on the company that they bought. And they're like, oh, so like we didn't make money. So what's the point of, having you guys? We're going to dissolve you guys. Microsoft has that bad tracking record of doing stuff like that. That's why I don't like that they acquired this new company. And sure, they own all these franchises, but what's good of owning franchise if you cannot make good content out of it or make great games out of it, because that's what you want. If you're gonna buy an Xbox or play any of the Xbox games, what you want is playing a good game. But what good does it do if the game is not good? You're just only selling off based on the franchise. I mean, that can only give you so much, and then on top of that, you're gonna blame it on the developers that you bought the company for it. So that's why I go about it and say, like, it's a bad move what they did, because now I'm afraid that any Activision Blizzard game, I don't know how much they have an influence on Activision and Blizzard when it comes on future projects. I don't know how much is their influence, but it will be a concerning to me, because Activision Blizzard, one of the biggest game companies in the world, and has a good tracking record of releasing great games. And all of a sudden, when the next upcoming futures could potentially be lackluster, then it's like, was it really worth spending $69 billion on acquiring a company? And then all of a sudden, you like, oh, well, we blame it on the developers, on the company, and we'll just have to dissolve it and create layoffs and whatnot. And call me crazy, but I'm sure, like, Sony, is not to say that Sony hasn't done this, but at least Sony has a great to perfect, near perfect record when it comes to acquiring companies and releasing game blockbuster games. Like the best examples I can give you is like Horizon. I played for a little bit and I didn't get into it, but nevertheless, it still doesn't beat the fact that it's a great game. God of War, amazing game. Both the first reboot and the sequel of it, Ragnarok, amazing game. Last of Us, another hit. Ghost of Tsushima, that shit looked crazy. And now we're expecting a sequel out of it. Like, when I see these game blockbusters, I see hitting them in the Game of the Years or being nominated as the best games and whatnot, and playing them is visually executed and selling the point of every other gamer, that when you look into Xbox on their own exclusive games, it does not match. Like, I'm telling you that my favorite exclusive Xbox games was always the Halo franchise and the Gears of War franchise. There was like the two. You can name a few more that I don't know that are in that same level. But those are the only two that I only play in Xbox because they build great games out of it. Halo, you can make the argument that they're milking it a little bit and it's getting a little bit too much, and they lost the story more or less because of free industry acquiring the Halo rights and Bungie leaving Xbox so Bungie can be for both consoles. Okay, good. Like, the Bungie years were better on Halo than it is right now, but they did a good job on the last Halo game, Halo Infinite. They actually did a pretty good job, so I applaud to that. I don't know how much more it's gonna come with the Halo franchise, but again, say, how much more can you milk it to make a great games like that, So,
just make Master Chief a kid. Cortana, Master Chief, and the Arbiter.
Emotional, damn it.
Please don't do that, guys. Please don't do it. Please don't do that. But that's my frustration. If my frustration comes like, okay, acquiring a game, make a great game, but if you don't, then what's the whole point of it? You just bought it just to see who's got the biggest balls, and they don't have a good tracking record. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think for this acquisition, it was just for Call of Duty. Like, to be honest, I think they know that multiplayer, I think, is more popular than single player. I think gaming had become very like mainstream because back in our days, like, I could go like when we were like a kids. Yeah, I was the only kid that had like a GameCube. Most people were not into gaming yet.
Yeah.
Now everyone plays, and now with all the streaming, people get into gaming because of streaming, and most of them play multiplayer games, right? Because then they go on Discord calls and they're all playing the same game,
right?
And I think Microsoft is starting to realize that like the mainstream gamer is a multiplayer gamer, and so I think what you said was right. Like Sony makes these like single player games have good story, good this. And I think Microsoft is like, I don't think that's the direction they want to go in. they want to go into multiplayer and just become dominant in that market. And I think acquiring Call of Duty is the craziest one, because thinking about it, like we talk about like fatigue, but people will still buy COD. It's like I almost have every single COD, and I'll play for like a month and be like, I'm not touching this till next year. But they got my money, I paid the $60-$70, and I think that's what it is they know COD is just one of the biggest franchises, and I think all the microtransactions, I don't think it's a loss for them.
I mean, you think that that the direction that each game, like Microsoft, will be more heavily focused on online gaming multiplayer than single campaign, and Sony will be more of the focus of the single story campaign?
I think so. I think Microsoft's direction is very multiplayer. That's why they're pushing out like the cloud stuff. Like Game Xbox Cloud. Yeah. I think like Game Pass, the Game Pass has like single player games, right? So it's like, oh, you can play, they have indie studios as well. But I think for multiplayer, it's like if they put it on Game Pass, that'll be crazy. But if they do, that's because everything's gonna be microtransaction. So like if they put not Modern Warfare 3, but let's say like the next COD coming out,
right?
If they put it on Game Pass, it's gonna like a lot of it's gonna be microtransaction. Or I believe they're still gonna put it on both consoles. So maybe it's like you can get it for free on Game Pass, or you can pay for it on PlayStation. So I think maybe that's what they're trying to do too. It's like, well, if the games I want to play with my friends are on Xbox and it's free, I might as well just get an Xbox.
Then it might as well go to Xbox.
Yeah, because I think I'm not sure if they're still losing money off of the consoles, but most of their money is coming from Game Pass. So I can see like just having COD on Game Pass is just crazy for them. And I think, like I said, I think this acquisition was only to get Call of Duty. I don't really think they care about the other games. Like I know they were like talking about them, because I think they even said like, what was it, Stargate, or one in the Starfield? Yeah, on Xbox. Is that like because is that one of the Activision games or no? Probably not, right? I'm not sure, like, because they talked about other games, but it's like the only one that comes to mind is like Call of Duty. I don't know what else like Activision, Blizzard owns.
Starfield is owned by Bethesda.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I mean they own that studio. So yeah. But okay, so I guess I was wrong. But again, I don't really know what else is owned by like Activision, Blizzard. Well, like Guitar Hero. They can make Guitar Hero, but that's not, I think, what their main goal was.
Hold on, let me see. Like, I know I saw a list of Xbox franchises that they now own. Let me see if I can. Oh, here we go. Oh my God, it looks like a lot. So every franchise, I'm reading it on Kotaku right now.
Mm-hmm.
So every franchise that Xbox now owns after buying Activision, the list is Call of Duty, Call to Power, Crash Bandicoot. Wow, I didn't know that one. Dark Reign, Diablo, Extreme, Paintball, Front Page Sports Baseball, Gabriel Knight Geometry, Guitar Hero, Gun, Hearthstone. Wow, they own Hearthstone.
Yeah, Overwatch.
Heavy Gear, Heretic, Heroes of the Storm, Henson, Interstate, King's Quest, Laravel Mysteries, Lost Viking, Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX, okay, Overwatch, Phantasmagoria, that is, Pitfall, Police Quest, Prototype, Quest for Glory, Singularities, Soldiers of Fortune, Space Quest, Spyro or Starcraft, Tenchu, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, True Crimes, Ultimate Manager, Warcraft, World of Warcraft. Yeah, I mean Blizzard, of course. Zork.
Yeah.
The King aspect, some of the sagas I never heard of. I don't know, is Besfera or Besfida?
Oh my God, I can't say it. I know you're talking about,
guys. Don't flame us, all right, guys. Sorry. Besfera.
Bethesda? Yeah.
Bethesda, yeah. Commander Ken, Deathloop, Dishonored, Doom, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Prey, Quake, Rage, Redfall, Starfield, The Evil Within, and oh my God, they own The Evil Within? Holy crap. Wolfenstein. Okay, shit. Like, and then Ed's about to say Age of Empires, Age of Mythology, Banjo-Kazooie,
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling. Fable, Forza, Gears of War, of course, and Halo, Killer Instinct, Flight Simulator, Perfect Dark. Oh my goodness, there's so many of them.
I think with the acquisition, like I just went on the Activision like website, and they're like, we have World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Diablo, Candy Crush,
Yeah.
Hearthstone, and Overwatch. So I think that's like the big six that like Microsoft probably went over. Because Candy Crush, as much as like people like making fun of Candy Crush or like Candy Crush or mobile gaming, it's like people are addicted to that. And it makes money.
It's like one of those like pachinko games.
Yeah. And I think like Microsoft is not like dumb enough to be like, oh, like Candy Crush people are not gamers. It's like, no, they're gaming. They just don't play like our type of games. But Candy Crush is a game and people spend money on it. And now they're gonna capitalize on that market too. Like now they're gonna get into mobile gaming and see like what's the next Candy Crush. So yeah, I think like I said, like I don't think they're gonna be focused on single player. I think Xbox was gonna focus more on the multiplayer because that's what get people to like buy your games too, right? If you're a kid and you have to like make that decision of like I'm gonna buy one console because that's all I'm gonna get for Christmas or whatever, you're gonna pick the one that like is gonna have most of your friends on it. And again, if you're a kid, like growing up, I had to pick the games I wanted for the year, right? Because I didn't have enough money to buy every single game on release. It's like, okay, like I want these 3 games and I'll save up for them.
Yeah.
So I can see like you just having Game Pass and being like, well, every game that I want is going to be on Game Pass. Because again, you don't have to buy into the microtransactions. You can always play Call of Duty like default skin and have a good time. So I think like that's what they're trying to push is like get people into the Xbox ecosystem. And they're like, hey, you don't like just pay the $10 a month and you get all the games you want to play with your friends.
But then if we're going through that whole Game Pass cloud, then I think like I don't need to buy a console. I can just play it on my laptop. Like I get my money out of it if I get a gaming laptop or a gaming PC and play through there. Then there's no reason for me to get the consoles. Like I feel like Microsoft's direction is like eliminating the console itself and putting all the Xbox games into the PC. And if people say like, oh, I don't like playing PC because of the keyboards and mouse, it's like you can still connect your Xbox controller to
controller.
Yeah, and you can play through. Well, I mean, that's what I do.
That's what I kind of said at the beginning. It's like they were selling the console on a loss for that reason because they make more money off of Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Like I honestly, I think what you're saying is true, and I think in an ideal world for Microsoft, they wouldn't even have to make the console.
Yeah,
I think they know like there's people stubborn like me who will always play on console. I like having a dedicated system for gaming, and we're like the people like I guess Microsoft doesn't like because for them the ideal player would be like you have your laptop and all you do is just spend the $15 a month for Game Pass. You might not even game that month, but you still paid for it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think subscriptions is like what companies are going for now. Because I mean, I know this is not gaming related, but like, didn't one of the cars, like a BMW, have like a subscription for like seat warmers? Did you read about that?
No, I haven't heard about that. What?
I might not be BMW. I don't want to flame them, but there's a car company that was doing subscriptions for like seat warmers, and I'm like, I'm not kidding. And I think that's what like the direction of like companies are trying to go for. It's everything subscription based.
Yeah.
Because it's like a constant cash flow, right?
Yeah.
Because like selling a product, right? It's like, oh, you sell the Xbox like, you know, this year, and then you sell another one 4 years down the road. And that's if people don't want to upgrade, right? So you don't have a steady cash flow from your consumers. But Game Pass is a steady cash flow because you're paying the $15 a month, and a lot of people, even if they don't play that month or that game, they might not cancel it. They want to go through the hassle of like going and pressing cancel and then restarting it next month when they go to game again. They'll just pay the $15 continuously, and I think that's what like Microsoft is going for. It's like they don't care if you get the console or not; they just care if you get Game Pass or not.
Yeah,
and I think putting COD on Game Pass is what's going to get people to get Game Pass. But yeah, that's my thought about it. Just Game Pass. This decision was made just to improve Game Pass.
yeah, I don't know. Like I still don't like I said, I fear for the future of gaming. Now it feels like nobody really gives a shit about stories and whatnot. Now it's all about multiplayer and getting into it and then buy the microtransactions. Not effectively becoming EA.
Mhm.
Eff- Effectively becoming like EA, like everything's on microtransactions, man. Maybe you're right. And people are just gonna go like, well, if I want to play online, I'm just gonna go with Xbox. Or people want to play campaigns and whatnot, I'll go with Sony and PlayStation. If I want to play like Pokemon and Zelda, I'll just go to Nintendo. I don't know. I don't like it because of the expectations of the game quality. It's gonna be very mediocre, and that can affect the sales for all those game developers or the game developers. It's gonna affect them. See how far this whole, you know, online stretch of gaming up is gonna last. Maybe it will last forever, maybe, but I'm not being very optimistic about it unless it's been proven otherwise. Right now, all I'm seeing is a cash grab. Like this is the perfect opportunity, and I don't think they're gonna make the revenue or the loss that they got on the 69 billion just by buying all these games. And if anything, it's gonna show them like what every decision that they make just to acquire this, just to have the biggest balls, is gonna ultimately like backfire them. Like it has backfired with other game companies. This will probably be any no different. But I guess in time will tell. I'm not happy about it. I'm not thrilled. But guys, let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts about this acquisition. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Explain it to us. Give us your thoughts. Let us know on the comments down below. The last topic before we wrap this up, guys, let's give a little bit quick talk about the SAG-AFTRA movement that just happened. So we have a recent update. So last time, episode 0, we have talked about like the writers managed to reach an agreement with these CEO film companies, saying like, all right, we reach an agreement which is reasonable for both parties. So the strike ended for the writers. Now it's not the same with the actors. The actors are still fighting, and they gave away like a good deal for the CEOs, and the CEOs just rejected it. And in anything, the CEOs demonstrated the whole cards of how greedy bunch of mother effers these guys really are. So like what I saw, and I got this from Culture Graves. Shout out to those guys. So their update basically says so SAG-AFTRA says that the studios are refusing to continue negotiations on the actors. There's already a deal with the writers, but now it's with the actors. And it says that studios made an offer worth less than the one proposed before the strike, which is kind of shitty. Studios refuse to protect actors from being replaced by AI and demand use of performers' digital replica for an entire cinematic universe or franchise. What SAG-AFTRA proposed will cost the studios less than 57 cents per subscriber each year. And more into it, negotiations have been reported in a snag, saying that the studios don't think it's reasonable for actors to get 2% of their streaming revenue, and no agreement yet on the use of AI. What are your thoughts, man?
Companies are greedy. I will always say that. Like, yeah. I think people have to understand it's like, as much as like companies like try to act like they're nice or they care, at the bottom line, it's like they have to answer to the stockholders and their board members. And, it could be that like, I'm not sure about unions, but actually I believe everyone in this, all the studios have to agree on the union, right?
Right.
And I think a lot of people are saying like Netflix is the one that's like keeps saying no to a bunch of it. Yeah. Now it could be other companies
Disney as well.
Disney, yeah. Again, I'm not keeping up that much, but from what I heard was Netflix against Netflix, Disney, and it makes sense. Especially with Disney is known to like be one of the lobbyists to push things from stopping, to stop things from going into the public domain, right? Like if people don't know, public domain is like when you copyright like a work, after I think maybe 100 years, it's free for public use. And I think that's what they want, is like they make these universes and they want to keep actors in them. And when the actors don't want to be in the universe anymore, now they can be like, oh, well, we don't need you because we got the AI to do it, you know?
Right.
They don't have to, and again, they don't have to negotiate, you know, with like with Tony Stark, right? You don't want to do the movies anymore. Oh, but we want Iron Man still. Well, we'll just do AI Iron Man. You know, we don't need the Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah,
and I think that's what it's coming down to. Is like they're making these big cinematic universes and they're trying to keep people in them. And again, it's no longer, well, now I have to negotiate, you know, this multi-million contract with the actor. Now it's just, oh, you don't like my demands? Well, we'll just do an AI of you. And I think like I don't like AI actors. It looks goofy to me.
It's stupid. It's really stupid. Like there's again, like a show, like a series it's literally putting out there to the public. I forgot what was the name. I think it was a Disney show or something that they literally use AI generated people, like created, and they added all around on the stands because it was a basketball game and they just added people into it. And they looked so fucking robotic and ugly. And it was just like the worst of the worst. Like, that's so horrible. Instead of, you could have just hired extras.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
And also, what I don't understand is like, even if they want to like save money and not hire people, right? It's like, well, if you stop hiring people, how are people going to buy your product? Like, oh, like no one was, you know, like every single Disney movie from now on is AI. It's like, okay, but what about all the extras, all the, you know, the people how to do that? Like they make money so they could buy, you know, like subscription and stuff like that. So it's like, when you take away those jobs, it's like, oh, well, how are they going to buy Disney Plus? You know, and that's just for any market. That's not just for like streaming.
Exactly.
It's like, if you don't employ people, then people don't have money to buy your product. Like you're trying to they're trying to optimize their gains, but then realize you can't have gains if people can't buy your product, period. Like, and I think like, yeah, they need to ban AI, not ban AI per se, but I think
regulate. They need to regulate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a good thing. Cause I've recently just heard that there's a new bill that it's about to pass or it's gonna pass. One way or no, they have to pass it. There's a new bill. It's called the No Fakes Act, and it's being proposed to protect actors, singers, and others from having their voices and likeness become AI generated. If passed, it'll hold people, companies, and platforms liable if they produce or host digital replicas without consent.
Yeah.
That needs to happen. That definitely needs to happen because
I think yeah, for that type of stuff, like AI should not exist. Like you shouldn't have to replicate. Like I work in tech and I believe like AI is good. And I think this is a misuse of AI just to be like, oh, I want this actor because he don't want to work or he or she don't want to work with us anymore. Let's just, you know, it's like now they can put Iron Man in every, you know, Marvel movie because they have an AI that can put, you know, Robert Downey Jr., right? Like what's stopping them from doing that other than like, you know, like they have to regulate that.
Right.
Right. Cause it's like now it makes your argument or your negotiation weaker, right? Cause now, I'm trying to negotiate a better, you know, pay. And it's like, oh, well, I don't want to pay you that. So I'll just put an AI of you in it instead.
Exactly.
Like, now you can't negotiate your salary. You can't negotiate this, that. So yeah, I think regulating it in like entertainment field definitely is needed.
Yeah, no, like this is, and it just shows you the level of greediness and how cheap these CEOs of these studios are trying to be with actors. And maybe not just actors, it's with everybody. Anything that's below them. Like they're trying to, they're money hungry cocksuckers. These guys are really, they just showed it shows, and even it's a horrible publicity on their behalf. And that could potentially, I don't know if it will, but it could potentially hurt their pockets. And the ways, and the thing is like, I'm looking at some of these contracts, like at least browsing and what it's being explained to me. They seem kind of reasonable. Like they're not asking like, I want 50% of whatever you make on the streams. No, they're asking 2%, less than 2% of what they make. And it's incredible how these money-hungry CEOs keep saying, like, no, that's not reasonable. It's like, dude, what the hell? Like, you guys make billions of dollars every year. Yeah. What? And the worst excuse I've been hearing from Bob Iger, the current CEO of Disney. Everybody used to tell me that Bob Iger was one of the best CEOs in Disney in a long, long time. And he retired and gave it to his apprentice. And then his apprentice messed everything up. And he had to unretire to clean up the work. And I thought, I was like, okay, good. He's going to clean things up. He's going to be good and whatnot. But then here I come out and find out that he's been openly speaking, saying stuff like, I don't think these guys are being very reasonable. Like what their demands are is like unpredictable. It's unreasonable. We can't generate, like we're still recovering from the pandemic. That is the biggest excuse that I've been hearing a lot. Recovering from the pandemic. Like I made a calculation as to like, all right, let's just say how much of they make on a Disney ticket. Disney tickets on Magic Kingdom alone, they potentially more or less earn $80 billion.
Nani?
$80 billion on Magic Kingdom. A Magic Kingdom alone.
Bruh.
A year. $80 billion. I haven't even counted on the other theme parks like Animal, Disneyland, or Hollywood Studios, or Epcot, and what other crap they have. A year, $80 billion.
Bruh.
But no, we're still recovering from the pandemic. What? Like, what kind of lame-ass excuse is that? Like, if you're telling me at a multi-billion-dollar franchise that, hey, let me remind you, they bought 20th Century Fox. Mm-hmm. They own 20th Century Fox, and it was for $90 billion. They own Hulu, and they own any of these other franchises, and they own partially ESPN and ABC.
Yeah.
Yet we're still recovering from the pandemic as a multi-billion-dollar franchise. You give me that excuse, you are one of the biggest suckers I've ever met in my life.
Also, when they say recovering, they mean it like when they talk about recovery, right? Yeah. They're not in the negative. They're just not making, they're claiming to not make as much money as before. But it's like recovering doesn't mean that they're losing money or bleeding out. It just means that they aren't making as much as they were. So it's like you're still making money. You can still like afford to pay your actors and writers. Right. Even if you're not making, it's like, oh, well, we made 10 billion less. It's like, okay, but you still made like 80 billion overall. You can pay your people. So it's like, it's just crazy for them to say 70 that.
And last year you made 80. You still got 70.
Yeah.
Like what? So when I hear these excuses of saying we're still recovering, it's like, bro, the pandemic happened 3 years ago. We're about to hit 4 years now.
Yeah.
I built a multi-billion-dollar company. You're telling me you haven't recovered and you're not in the clear. You get the biggest congratulations. You played yourself.
Congratulations. Yeah. You played yourself.
Honestly, like I'm dumbfounded when I hear it, and then looking at this and then saying like it's unreasonable, and me want to use their likeness in the eye. It's like, bro, you know what would have happened a few years ago if we would have incorporated those likeness? Would have never had a Ben Affleck or a Matt Damon, because Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, they started out as behind the scenes actors, two of the greatest actors of our generation, making like blockbuster movies. We would have never had we wouldn't have the Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. So if they do that, we will never know if we got the next Ben Affleck or the next Matt Damon or sorts or whatnot.
But they don't care about that because they hope that their AI can create the next Ben Affleck or the next Matt Damon. That's what they want. They want it to create it.
If they can, they would. Good for them. It's not gonna help them on their sales. In fact,
I agree with you. Yeah,
they're gonna sink more money and they're gonna regret the decision. They'll be like, oh, we were wrong. Can you guys come back and do this? It's like then you had to pay the actors and you're already on the negative. Like you're trying to do extra stuff so you can avoid the extra stuff. Cutting corners in a sense, basically. So they can still pocket their own money. So I'm like, I don't know. This is a very messy situation of what's happening. And I really, really hope that the government starts regulating the use of AI when it comes to their likeness and whatnot and their image, because that's very important. That's very important. Imagine, they create an AI generated version of Michael Jackson, and then they've been putting all these shows for Michael Jackson. People will buy it, and then the Michael Jackson people, the estate itself, don't get any money out of it.
Yeah,
it's getting out of hand. The AI use thankfully, hopefully, it passes the law, the no fake acts. You know, I think they're gonna have to do it because otherwise, it's gonna create pandemonium all around. And let me tell you, like, I don't know how long these CEOs are gonna last. They have to cave. Like they already caved with the writers. They have to cave with the actors because how are you gonna make a movie if you got no actors that they're willing to go?
Yeah.
If every actor in the world tells you no, how are you gonna make the next movie?
Don't forget, like I mentioned earlier, like the CEOs have to answer to the board and to the shareholders. I think at some point they're gonna be like, "Yo, you haven't made a movie in a year, in 2 years. Like you have to like agree to the terms, you know, because you can't just bleed out your shareholders too, because then they'll just kick out the CEO and be like, okay, like you lost us X amount." And I think that's why like, the writer's strike, like they caved in because it was what 4 months into it, and it's like they literally had to go to shareholders and be like, for a whole quarter we made zero. We actually like lost millions. Money. Yeah, when their demands would have cost less than what we bled out this quarter. You know. And I think that's like the equilibrium or whatever we're trying to reach. And I think it's going to happen. Like you said, they're going to cave into the Actors Guild eventually, which is good, right? Because then the the actors are going to get what they want, which is good. But it's just stupid. Like they have to be on strike, literally picketing and stuff just to get like decent and fairness.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. And any final remarks about this?
No, other than to the companies just agree to it so people can start working again, you know? Like the actors want to act again, you know? They want to be part of the stories, be part of the, you know, work with the writers, you know?
Yeah.
They want to make movies, they want to make TV shows, and they can't just agree to it because you're going to agree with it in a couple of months. So you might as well just agree with it now.
Exactly. Makes no sense to continue to like stall just to show them how much more power we got. See how the biggest balls we got here. Like, makes no sense. Just, eventually they have to cave because they have no other choice. You know, the union is actually powerful and it's on everybody's side on the union. So, and it's going to make them even look worse. And like you said, shareholders are going to be like, hey, yo, you're making us look bad. Do something. Like, stop what you're doing. Go do something. We don't want to lose money. We'll see in the next upcoming months, see what goes on. But let us know in the comments down below what you thought, what you think about this. We're going to wrap this up right here, man. Thank you very much for coming over to the show once again, man.
No problem. I love being on the show. So
absolutely.
You guys are going to see me more.
Absolutely. You guys going to see Mike much more frequent as usual as our special and recurring guests, you know. Other times you're going to see other rotating guests. We're going to try to switch it up and whatnot. But in the meantime, you're going to be seeing a lot of Mike, you know. Be sure to go to Mike's channel at youtube.com/Mike Phoenix Hero. I'm going to leave the link on the description down below. Thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, every week is a brand new episode with brand new topics. So always remember to like and subscribe for your weekly episodes at youtube.com/@AWGC podcast or awgcpodcast.com. I'll figure out a better acronym other than that, but we'll discuss that later down the road. And yeah, guys, comment down below. Let us hear our thoughts, share our experiences. If you guys got a specific topic you want us to cover and talk about, please let us know in the comments down below. We'll do our best to talk about it on the next episode. So guys, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.